are empty. There's nobody here. The seats are empty, and the field is bare, but I know come Saturday, it's going to be a sea of people in their garden gold, waving their hands, clapping. Balloons are going to be flying. And there's going to be a feeling of excitement in there that is just unparalleled.
35 years of excitement. Entering the 7th year under the leadership of Bobby Bowden, Florida State football has attracted the national spotlight and basked in its glory. Consecutive Orange Bowls, All-Americans, and magnificent upsets have only whet the fans' appetites. With a band of talented freshmen and experienced seniors, Pigskin Fever swept Tallahassee. Out of the challenges and rewards of 1981 would emerge the cornerstone for tomorrow at Florida State. Florida State Football 1981. Cornerstone for tomorrow is proudly presented by Sunbanks of Florida. Fate did not always shine so favorably upon the Seminoles' loyal legions. But loyal to a fault, the fans found reward for their patience when fate sent them a football genius in the guise of Bobby Bowden. The rest is history. Where there was fear of failure before, there is now pride. Where there was indecision, there is now dominating strength. Poise and unexpected cunning. These are the sword and spear of the Seminoles. And with these weapons, they would confront the mightiest teams in the land.
Going into the 1981 season has probably been one of the most difficult seasons for me to ever go into as a coach. 2 reasons. Number one, we had a new football team. We had lost 8 starters off of defense from the year before. We had lost 6 off of offense, and we'd lost a kicker who had led the nation in scoring in 1980. So we were going into the season with a team that we didn't know anything about. Then, at the same time, we were playing the most difficult schedule in the United States, probably one of the most difficult in the last 10 or 20 years, in which 5 in a row of them were on the road.
Impossible and suicidal were 2 words used to describe the road trip. Nebraska, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Pitt, and LSU were sarcastically called the Oktoberfest, a coach's nightmare and a freshman's fantasy. This 5-team blockbuster would be the ultimate test of courage for any team. First, however, were 2 tough tune-ups, Louisville and Memphis State. An unyielding tribe defense shut out Louisville for the 3rd straight year, while all 17 of the Seminoles' points were tallied by freshmen. A 10-5 win over Memphis State extended the home winning streak to 18 in a row. After a nerve-wracking loss to Nebraska the next week, Bobby Bowden reassembled his troops for the next stop on Oktoberfest.
Well, the Ohio State ball game, we knew we were going against one of the best football players in the nation. That's Schleister of Ohio State.
Well, going into Ohio State, the biggest aspect I thought was our Schleister. If we stop him, we could beat Ohio State.
And so our only hope against them was to outscore them, because they're going to get their points. And so it was a game which it was one of the most exciting football game I think we played all year. It was kind of who got the ball last, who was going to win it.
The clear, crisp air at Columbus was all the inspiration that linebacker Ron Hester needed to turn in the play of a lifetime. Footballs carved up the sky as Rick Stockstill and Art Schleister went into an airborne dogfight. Kelly Lowry knocked Ohio State's Buckeyes out of their sockets when he turned around right end to put FSU ahead. Schleister and company retaliated and connected for a TD. But within 2.5 minutes, Stockstill cocked his arm and hit Tony Johnson in the numbers for 6, and FSU was ahead again. On a day when two offenses were going wild, the slightest defensive edge could mean a victory. Amazingly, the two teams racked up precisely the same amount of total offensive yards. Rick Stockstill had the most prolific day of his career, and with a pressured toss to Sam Childers, the Tribe garnered a lead they would never relinquish. The Seminoles flexed their muscles on a magnificent and entertaining 4-play goal line stance. With this stunning victory, Bowden and company had captured the first Big Ten win in FSU history.
That's the first time really we came together as a unit, and we thought that by beating Ohio State, we could beat anybody else in the country at their home or at our place.
South Bend, Indiana. Notre Dame is not just another school. Bobby Bowden knew the pride and tradition of the Irish and believed that the game could go in any direction.
Well, Notre Dame, this was the first time FSU faced at Notre Dame. We wanted to go in there come out with a victory. And we got fired up. Everybody wanted to beat them.
You don't get a chance to play Notre Dame very often. Everybody was looking forward to that, and the coaches were worried about us being intimidated just by their tradition. But we went up there ready to play. We didn't let it bother us.
It was a little more talking, a little more playing. Everybody was a little more relaxed in South Bend.
Gridiron tradition was a subject well known to Notre Dame's coach, Jerry Fowler. But after the kickoff, the Tribe showed the Irish a little of their tradition. The first half was a battle with each side managing only a field goal. Freshman kicker Mike Randina was proving that he thrived on pressure. Then Mike Whiting got the running machine in gear. Mike flew over the goal line, and now the momentum was taking a decidedly southern turn. Notre Dame tied the score at 13, so the defense stood up and took the ball into their own hands. Absolutely untouched, Mike Whiting ran the game-winning TD in, shocking the crowd and delighting the FSU TV audience. Tim Cagle's final Hail Mary pass got unexpected results, and the only meeting of these two teams in history was now a memory to be cherished.
To beat them there, that was a great thrill, and it'll always go down as a great win for Florida State.
In the 1981 season, Oktoberfest will always be remembered for the stunning upsets at Notre Dame and Ohio State. For this eager young team, the end of Oktoberfest signaled a much welcome trip back to campus life. Anyone who has visited Tallahassee can appreciate the perfect blending of the North and the South. The trees still turn colors in autumn, but the summers are strictly Floridian. Tallahassee is like a wheel with FSU as its hub. The entire capital city focuses upon the Seminoles.
Well, Florida State is still a big university in a relatively small community. For that reason, the university gains a great deal of attention.
They call it Saturday Night Fever, a screaming, teeming sea of football faithful. Campbell Stadium is the stage, and the players are the actors in this dramatic play. The performance demands a sound body and sound mind. The players' weeks are spent in preparation, from the classroom to a hearty meal at the dining room among friends. Finally, there is the weight room, where hard work leads to stamina and strength. As the week slips by, the anticipation overtakes everyone on campus.
When there is a home game on Saturday, usually around Thursday or Friday, people start to kind of forget about school, and come Friday afternoon, you don't even know you're at school. The atmosphere around you is strictly geared toward football. Saturday is a day off when there's a home game.
We've been in some of the great stadiums in the country, but I guarantee you there's no place that'll make your skin crawl like Tallahassee, Florida on a Saturday night. When our mascot, our Seminole and his horse and our football team hit the field with that flaming spear. And I'll tell you, you talk about a stadium, right now we seat about 53,000 people out there. And at the first of a football game, when our Seminole goes up and down the field, and when he comes back and sinks that burning spear into the ground, it's a simultaneous yell.
Doak S. Campbell Stadium, averaging 800 people over capacity, rocked to the thrills and drama of Tallahassee's tribe. For the fans in the stands, many familiar names were gone. Simmons, Capice, Bonasant, and Platt, to name a few. Untested freshmen now filled out the lineup, but their names would not remain unknown for long. Running back Billy Allen opened the 81 season with the longest TD run since 1976.
It was a sweep call, a pitch. And what I saw was the defense over pursuing. So what I did, I cut back against the grain. And then once I was in the open field, I just outran the rest of the defenders for the score.
Billy, a walk-on who earned a scholarship, came to FSU via the Air Force. Against LSU, he showed that he can really fly.
Well, it was a middle return, and once I caught the ball, I just went up the middle, and it was picture perfect. Everybody blocked their defenders, and I just gave the last man a step. I gave him like I guess a mixed direction step. I had him going one way, and I cut back on him and just outran everybody. And that was gorgeous. That was pretty.
The greatest moment for a runner is when he passes the goal line and Seminole fans go wild.
I feel like screaming. I feel so happy because we winning. You know, it's lovely to score, make a long run, and we win. It's beautiful.
However, Billy Allen was not the only freshman phenomenon. Another freshman named Allen was waiting in the wings.
Greg Allen seems to have some God-given talent. Physically, he's very fast, and he's strong. He's got a lot of desire, he got a lot of pride to want to be the best. And you put all that together, then his future looks bright.
Greg Allen was unranked on the depth charts at season start, but when the injuries depleted the ranks, he was ready.
I waited for my opportunity, and when it came, I wanted to make sure that I was in the right condition to go in there and do the job.
In the first game he started against LSU, the first time he touched the ball, Greg ran for 66 yards. He called it simply, doing what I do best. By the end of the day, he had become FSU's top single game rusher with 202 yards, and the jubilant fans were screaming for an encore. They didn't have to wait long. In the next game against Western Carolina, Greg put on a virtuoso performance, the likes of which had never been seen before. Like an antelope on the prairie, he claimed the field as his own territory and ate up yardage in his own special style.
Well, what I'm thinking about is I'm trying to read the defense and following the offensive line blocks. And I'm not a strong runner. I'm not a person like Herschel Walker to run over people. But I'm a person I can see quickly into the lines.
When the total was in, the NCAA record books had to be revised to add a new category. Greg Allen, most all-purpose yards for a single game by a freshman, an astounding 417. To put it simply, Greg is a pleasure to watch as he flies through opponents. The new kids in town had definitely earned their spurs and paved the way for a great future. Saturdays in Tallahassee are an extravaganza. The Seminole marching band is undoubtedly the finest in all of the South. The color, the showmanship, and the beautiful girls combined to provide a very classy show. When all of the elements of the game are orchestrated, they make beautiful music. The driving beat of the Seminole song is defense. To quote Bobby Bowden, everything else in the game is irrelevant. Blocking and tackling will cause wins. I believe in discipline and enthusiasm. The new players in the lineup and the veterans alike took their coach's words as gospel. Like Indians on the warpath, they created havoc by forcing their opponents to make mistakes. Anticipation, hard-hitting, and unrelenting pressure led to interceptions, fumbles, and fun. Some of the guys making things fun for FSU were Hester, Futch, Carricker, Coursey, Harris, Rowe, and Gilbert. Ball-hawking aggressiveness is the basis of every coach's game plan. But what makes the Seminoles unique and exciting to watch is their wide-open offense. Bobby Bowden's quenchless desire for victory and his willingness to take a calculated risk have led to one of the most imaginative offenses in college football. With versatile athletes like All-American punter Ron Stark the Seminoles blended tradition and innovation. Bowden's interest in boxing and military science are evident in the tribe's attack. Precision, coordination, and surprise. Like a combination boxer who sets up his knockout punch, the Seminoles hit their foes with the run and the pass, and when the time is right, they throw their knockout punch. The victim is usually left counting to 6. Bobby Bowden's football philosophy is a proven success. He is the winningest coach ever at FSU and has twice been nominated as National Coach of the Year. The Bowden philosophy has made Florida State a household word among football faithful and a synonym for winning. When the leaves again begin to turn in Tallahassee and the players are once again assembled, expect great things to happen in Campbell Stadium.
Well, 1982, we should be an improved football team because we broke in so many new people in 1981. We played more freshmen in 1981 than I bet you we have ever played at Florida State University. And it wasn't by design. It was the fact that these young men came in and just beat out the boys playing ahead of them. And then in some cases it was a need factor, but not totally.
The lessons learned through Oktoberfest and the return of Greg and Billy Allen and those fabulous freshmen has established a winning edge, confidence in oneself and in one another.
Everybody on our team, we're not losers, and I think they know what needs to be done. And so if they come in with the right attitude, we're going to have an outstanding season next year.
Well, a lot of the young players are playing a lot more, and there's a core, there's like a nucleus of leadership that's working up through there, and I think we're going to have some good leaders in the future.
Under the watchful eye of Bobby Bowden, these players have become a team. For this team in 1982, there are no limits. With great opponents like Pitt, Ohio State, and Miami next year, and the expansion of Campbell Stadium, 1982 promises even more excitement, more drama, and more great football. For now, Florida State fans everywhere can barely wait to see the future.
On behalf of the 1981 Florida State Seminoles, I want to thank Sunbanks for the excellent support and sponsorship of our 1981 Florida State highlight film.